What's up guys, my name is Sarthe, welcome back to the channel, and today I'm going to have just a quick little conversation about, is tier 4 content hard? Is the next phase of TBC going to be a challenge for most guilds, or will people kind of steamroll through it? Now today, we were actually doing TK on the stream with some of a pug group, some of a guild, and yesterday we were able to go in with a lot of other streamers and run SSC. Now in SSC, we were able to one-shot every boss all the way up to Morgrim Tidewalker, so then one boss before Vosh and almost kill Vosh. And then in TK, we were able to go in, and I don't think very many people here had ever done any of the actual encounters, and we were able to one-shot every boss up to Kel'Thas. But KT is being a massive roadblock for a lot of guilds, pretty much everyone, up until Blizzard nerfed the boss fight. So Blizzard ended up actually cutting the HP of the mobs in that fight in the phase 3 of the encounter in half, from 1.5 million for each of the individual advisors, all 4 of them, as they resurrect, down to 750,000. This really means that the hardest fight in all of phase 5, and one of, if not the biggest challenging fight in all of TBC, excluding Sunwell Plateau, is probably getting a little bit easier. Now, a lot of people were trying to calculate to say that it was almost impossible to do without some SSC and TK gear. And this is something I'm not going to really bring up, or I'm not really going to input my opinion, but I'm curious what you guys think. If it would be nice if we had these harder bosses, which would have been Kel'Thas, the last boss of TK, if we had him at this Omega pre-nerfed state. Now, I don't know, from going through some VODs or some videos from back in the day for World First and World Third Kill, it does look like these mobs had about 700 to, or sometimes 500k HP, and one of the mobs on actually this client now has 500k HP. So it looks like they have potentially corrected HP values, but there's kind of brings up the question, should they have these lower HP values, or should it be left at these higher HP values, where things like Magtheridon on the beta had its HP cut in half? And there's the argument that that was the original HP it should be at when they launched it, and one was like a bugged HP, but it was killed. My group was a pug and we were able to go in and kill it, but it was able to die, so it just made the fight longer. Now Magtheridon takes like 2 minutes. You literally can actually just tank all of the mobs at one time, all 5 of them, and then just seed them down, and then burn Magtheridon by chain clicking. You can have 4 groups, even 3 groups will be fast enough with enough DPS to chain click and kill the boss before he really gets out. So you can have 4 groups, even 5, whatever you need, but the boss dies really, really fast. This is kind of a theme that's happened all the way throughout all of Classic, where we've focused more on speed runs than on actual content being challenging. So it's not really a race to world first per se, it's more of how fast can you do it. So we're absolutely gonna see speed runs coming, and it's gonna be a huge thing in TBC, in TK, and SSC. That's one of the things I'm most excited for. But barring that, it really brings up the question, what does the community want? Do you guys want easier content, or do you want harder content? More of a challenge. Basically, what I'm getting at is the content actually that challenging? And outside of Kel'Thas right now, it doesn't really seem like it. Vosh is posing a little bit of a challenge to groups until they kind of get used to it, but I think that's just people not understanding the mechanics. There are finally mechanics in games, and there are more RNG, which might scuff some speedrun things because there's a little bit of randomness and hecticness that comes with the Vosh encounter for sure. But other than that, it looks like Blizzard is actually tuning these encounters. There was a bug actually on the KT encounter where Thaladred, the slow mob that if he aggroes onto you will murder you, was having aggro drops at even more random of a time than it should, as well as being able to melee people from like 30 yards away. So let me pull up a clip from Guzu's stream of that really fast. So here you can see, and this is from Guzu's stream, so I'll have a link to his stream in the description, but he's being chased and then meleeed from infinitely far away from the mob and just being one shot. So this was actually patched, and these are the mobs that actually did have double the HP in phase 3. Now this is a thing that was also on private servers. Once the mobs resurrected, they did have more health. But alas, it looks like Blizzard has cut that back down to a lower amount to make it easier for people. I don't know if we want the easier content or the more challenging content, but so far phase 1 is kind of a joke. So looking forward towards TBC, a lot of people have been leaving because there's not that much to do. And if you're able to just clear these raids within one night, within an hour, within 2 hours, are people only going to stay raid logged? I didn't want this video to be more of a rant, but it is just kind of bringing the question up to the community, up to you guys, to see what you really think about it. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it, and I've been doing a bunch of these streams and viewer streams so everyone can get into the raids and experience them themselves on my Twitch channel, so make sure to stop by. I wasn't streaming for the last month, and I just started it up again now that I have brand new internet. All right, everyone, good luck out there, and I'll see you all on the next one.